journey now begin. In the magic, let's dive in.
So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the terror's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Moon of infinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to another live stream tonight. Hopefully, everyone is having a good evening. Hey, Mystic, I got your donation. Thank you. Happy Tuesday. Amy, yes, the Empress. Nat, yes, the Queen of Wands. He's not lying. I don't know if there's more to the story, Sienna, but I'm getting a no as far as him lying. So I think he's telling you the truth. I don't know about this other person and the lying and all of that, but he's telling the truth. You're welcome. Daisha, yes, the world. Margaret, no, the tower. You're welcome. Gemini, I'm getting a no. Death, the death card. You're welcome, Amy. Chibi, I'm getting a no. 5 of Pentacles. You're welcome. All right, guys, just a few more minutes of the free list and then we're moving on to donations. Mystic, I have you down for a mini reading. If you want to post your question now, that would be great. And I'll get started on you as soon as I can. Uh, Yvette, I got your question. Kayla, yes. 9 of Wands. A mom, no. 9 of Swords. All right, let's get Mystic's question done. So Mystic, I'm getting yes that he feels that you are very direct. And I think maybe at times he wishes that you would be a little bit softer. But to tell you the honest truth, he likes it. That's what he likes about you. You're welcome, Kayla. That's what he um is interested about in your demeanor. So while I'm sure there's parts of him that is like, okay, like this could have been a little bit worded nicer or could have had a little more tact to it, like maybe in certain circumstances he wants you to be a little bit softer. He is saying like, I do like this about her. I think that it's something about the honesty that he feels like you wouldn't betray his trust, like you are a trustworthy person because you don't necessarily hold back. um I don't know if you're ever like harsh with him in terms of like the things that you say, but he's basically like, I like this about her. It makes her interesting. Um, it makes her stand out. Like other, not everybody is like this. And I don't think he would change that about you, but he is saying there are certain things that I wish he would say a little bit differently. But overall though, like I said, I don't think he would change that about you. You feel like he takes certain things the wrong way. You do try to be soft, but you don't want to no, that makes sense. It's kind of tough sometimes, I think, when you're battling your ego. I think that if someone really likes you and likes how you come like likes the person that you are, likes that you're a very direct person, it can be a little bit conflicting inside when you suddenly become the target of that directness. And so I think that it's just a matter of licking his wounds. Again, would he prefer if you were a little softer? Yes, of course he would in certain circumstances, but I would say majority of the time, most of the time, this is something that he likes about you. Maybe not necessarily being the audience or, like I said, the target. Hey, Niaja. But generally he likes it. Generally, I would say. Um So yeah, that is what I have, Mystic. You're welcome, girl. All right, next up we have Yvette with a mini reading. Naija, I hope you're having a good night, friend. I'm doing good. All right, Yvette. Does Pisces really have a crush on Yvette? Does Pisces really have a crush on Yvette? Yvette, there's definitely something going on here with this person. I would say yes. I pulled the 10 of Pentacles. So you have a couple cards indicating that there's something more than friendship going on. We have the 10 of Pentacles, the Emperor, King of Wands, and the Lovers. Then you also have Six of Cups. So Six of Cups talks about someone who feels like they're drawn to you, like for whatever reason, either you feel very familiar to them or they just feel like they're kin or, kinship to you, or like the expression birds of a feather, like there's some type of identity or likeness that he or that she, I'm sorry, I don't know if the Pisces is a girl or a guy, experiences with you, very drawn to you, wanting to be around you. I think that this would be considered a crush from the Pisces because I have the Lovers here. So that indicates that there's more of like a romantic element to this connection for the Pisces. But I don't know if there's like really feelings that have developed here, anything like that just yet. I think it could just be that this person like wants to spend more time in your energy, drawn to you, maybe wants to spend some time together, get closer to you, learn more about you. I don't really know. Or if it's someone that you've known for a long time, then this person's just saying, I really like being around them. I like spending time around them. So I think that the Pisces is definitely, oh, he told you that he has a crush on you, and he's like, oh, it's like, oh, it's mutual. Oh, you're a little, well, this is sweet. This is so cute. Well, okay, I'm happy for you considering the feelings are mutual. He's saying that whenever I see the 10 of Pentacles, it makes me feel like someone wants to be in your life for an indefinite period of time. So what that means is that as long as he has known you and however far into the future he can see, he plans on being in your life if you will let him. So this is someone who wants to be around for a long time. Um, and he's showing up as the Emperor and the King of Wands, which I think is why I assumed it was a him, because this energy is like stable. This energy is saying like, I want to be here. I want to be in her life. And I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be that like rock, that person that she can rely on. So I would believe him and believe his words, and maybe we'll see where this can go for you. But that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. It's always such a good feeling when someone has reciprocating feelings that you have. That's always nice. Yvette, did you want to add on for anything else before I move on? Yvette, it sounds like you both are on the same page. Like I said, the connection is romantic in nature for him. Like I said, I don't know if there's necessarily feelings there yet, but I think that this could be considered a crush because there's a romantic element to the dynamic from his perspective. So I think crush is a very fitting word. Nice. Well, that's very cool. I'm happy for you. Gotcha. Okay. Well, like I said, it seems like you guys are on the same page. My goodness. Not now, but thank you. You're welcome, Yvette. You have a great rest of your night. Okay, so Nyasia, hey girl, hey, I'm gonna be right back. I need to run to the restroom. But I have you down for a BOGO, so just drop your questions when you're ready, okay? Hey, girl. All right, let's take a look. You're welcome. Started a new job this week. And I wish I had the energy that you do to start so many new jobs. I'm already struggling holding on to the one I got. And no one can fire me from this one but myself. And I'm still struggling. Hey, in my opinion, if you're leveraging every job against the other, I think that it's a brilliant plan. If people are willing to hire you and you can leverage it against the previous job for better pay, benefits, etc., and you just keep climbing that ladder by going from company to company, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that literally at all. I just don't have the energy for it personally. Let's see. So they're telling me that my God, that you have at least a year at this job. They're saying it's not long term, but you will stick it out for a little while. Now, the only thing I'm getting right now is a trajectory up to a year. So I don't know if like you leave in 6 months or something. It could be possible. I'm not seeing past a year for this job, but I do think that it's beneficial for you, honestly. I think it's beneficial for you mentally. I think it's beneficial for you, more harmonious, I guess I could say, with the Two of Cups. Um, a little extra cash flow maybe, or something that makes you feel a little more stable. And I'm saying little because it's not something significant in my opinion. Page of Pentacles is like the child court card. It's like, it's like a little something. It's not anything really developed and mature, if that makes sense. So it feels just like a small amount, but it does feel like there is a little bit of stability that you find back in your life for a little while from this job. So I do think it's beneficial for you. But again, and they're saying that you do stick it through, like you do stick it out, because it is providing what you need to get by right now. But I'm hearing up to a year. So I think it's possible. I think it's very possible you could stay at this job for a year. I just am having a hard time seeing past that. Spot on for everything, keeps lights on and fridge full. And that's important. And maybe it's a little bit more in balance for what it is you're looking for. I have the Eight of Wands. It talks about clear energy. Don't really see any blocks when it comes to this job. I think you're doing well. We also have the Queen of Pentacles here. So I feel like you're sitting well, you're sitting pretty. Maybe you're not overly comfortable. Maybe you don't feel like you have like this overly expendable income, but it's helping you get by. It's bringing balance back into your life. The stability will definitely take some pressure off of you mentally. And I think that when it comes to your personal goals and your personal plans, those are still full steam ahead. I don't really feel like the job is going to get in the way of that. I still think that you have dreams on your heart and plans, but maybe this is a nice little break. The Temperance card can talk about doing things in moderation, having a break. Um, Again, harmonious relationships, balance that can allow for you to just take a mental step back, because maybe it was feeling like a lot for a little while and you were like, no, I need to feel a little more secure than this. So this might be giving you that, like, that break that you need, where you can take a step, not necessarily take a step back from your business, but like feel as though you're able to stay afloat, like keep your head above water. And maybe it'll push the timeline back a little bit. Maybe it's not going to be as much as you want as quickly as you want, but having that stress, I guess, that stressor removed is like much more important to you right now. Hey, Kaiser. I am doing donations still. Donations are open. Glad I'll be able to stick it out. No phones, no patient contact. You pick your hours. Nice, nice. I was actually going to ask you about that because I had the 5 of Wands, and that usually talks about interacting with other people, and it's a no card for me. So I was wondering if maybe you don't interact with people with this job. So that'll be great. That'll be really great. I love that you can pick your hours. And having that consistent inflow, of income is going to be nice for you for a little while. Like I said, even if it's only for like 3 to 6 months, hopefully it'll be more like the year marker that we talked about. But I think 6 months is like a strong number in my mind right now, which is surprising considering you do start new jobs all the time. So maybe the 6 months just seems like a very long time. So I'm surprised I'm feeling that way, but nice. Thank you, Naija. Okay, so what does Spirit want you to know about your business? So I still think full steam ahead with that in terms of like your plans. I don't necessarily see you putting that on the back burner entirely while you're working this other job. I still think you're dedicating time to it once a week or a couple times a week. I don't think, what am I trying to say? I don't think this other job is going to get in the way of you being able to leverage this business and continue working on it. I think the only thing that's going to stand in your way is going to be yourself and your own motivation. So, this job is kind of like the perfect storm for you right now, schedule-wise, because it's going to allow for you to continue to allow this to be a priority for you if you want it to be. So like I said, I don't think that it's going to be on the back burner or need to be on the back burner because you have this job. It's not like your focus needs to shift too much. You might have less time to dedicate to it, but I still think you'll be dedicating time to it. Again, as long as you're motivated to do that. So if for whatever reason something is getting in the way of you being able to work on your business and continue to get that going, it's going to be yourself. It's not going to be this job, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Now, your energy might be lower because you are working another job. That could be an indirect quote unquote getting in the way of your business, because when we're spending our efforts and our energy to something else, that can make us feel less capable of putting energy towards anything else. So in a way, this job could kind of get in the way. But what I mean is that you'll still have the time. The energy is the question. Does that make sense? You'll have the ability to if you want to, if you decide to. I think procrastination is such an easy thing to get into. It's just such an easy default mode. Especially when we're not seeing the results immediately, we can tend to let it fall to the side, if that makes sense. It's like if we started a business and we immediately were turning a profit within the first 30 days, we would that would give us the motivation. Everything in this world is energy, and money is the currency of the world, and money is energy. So that gives us motivation. All right. So let's just put it for an example. Let's say tonight, limited readings, it's kind of on the slower side. I'm like, I don't really feel like putting energy towards this. I'm going to sign off soon. But on the flip side, if I was getting a lot of donations coming in, that would give me the energy to keep going and I would be able to dig deep and find it. I notice a lot of times if you're like a server at a restaurant, if it's slow, you're like, can you please just cut me so I can go home? But if it's busy, somehow you find the energy to put towards it. So I think that's kind of what's happening a little bit with your business is that the fruits of your labor are not immediate. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I do want to contribute to this, but you're starting to lose that momentum. They say that whenever you start a business, the first 30 days to 60 days are so important because if you don't take action in the beginning and you don't really like try to get as much done as you possibly can while the inspiration is still there, it's going to be very hard for you to maintain that same momentum. Everyone gets inspired in the beginning of something and then they lose it. So I think Naisha, consistency is going to be key for you. I think that as long as you're setting aside a block amount of time per week, and like let's just say every week you're like, I want to put 8 hours towards this. That can be 8 hours in one day on your day off. That can be, an hour every single day after work. That could be, 4 hours one day, 4 hours the next. Doesn't really matter. Just get a number in your head of I'm setting aside this amount of time. If you work better on a schedule, great. I don't. I'm an intuitive worker. I I like knowing what my tasks are for the week, but I don't like setting a time to do them because as long as it gets done at the end of the week, that's fine with me. I don't want to put that pressure on myself to get something done by a certain time or on a certain day or at a certain hour because then that just doesn't work for me. But if it works for you, I think you should do that. Um, you said started social media, people like the content, but I have to get consistent. Well, I'm happy to hear people like the content. I'm working on a monthly content plan so I can film in 1 or 2 days and schedule it out. That's perfect. And I think we've talked about Chat GPT before, but Naija, if you're not utilizing that, make sure you are because the content calendars is something that they can whip up so fast for you. I think filming everything on 1 to 2 days is important because then you can break up each segment and you can like post on different days even if you're not doing any content. I think that's really important, especially because if you have to get ready for the content, like for example, if you want to make sure your hair looks a certain way, you're wearing a certain outfit, your makeup is done a certain way, jewelry, accessory, whatever, you want to be looking a certain way on camera, it's better to just do it all at once and not have to get ready multiple times a week. That's just how I feel. But do what works for you. Sometimes I wish there was an affordable community of small business startups. Try my best not to feel lonely, like an accountability group. Yeah, I mean, I have seen that before. Like, I want to say 3 years ago, locally, there were some small business owners that were trying to start something like that up. Um, oh my God, what is it called? Chamber of Commerce, I think. They weren't the Chamber of Commerce, but they were trying to do something like that similarly to have like local businesses all kind of network with each other. It could be something that you could start if you really wanted to, but I know that's a lot of extra work or a lot of extra effort. But it's hard though because Naisha, that would be more for like networking, not so much keeping yourself accountable, trying your best not to feel lonely. It's tough. It's tough when you're your only supporter. But I think But Naisha, I think like if you can get in with the chamber, I don't know what the qualifications are. I don't know if you have to be an LLC certified in the state. I don't really know how like any of that works. Like for example, I'm a sole proprietor. I work for myself. No one else works for me. Use my own tax ID number. But if you're an LLC already, or if you've already established that, then maybe Chamber of Commerce would welcome you in. I also don't know if there's like conflicting You have a very unique idea, a very unique business is probably would not affect you. But I don't know if there's like a limited amount, like, oh, well, I have a bakery shop owner in the Chamber of Commerce, so I don't want another bakery shop owner. So I don't know if they're like sticklers about making sure that every business is not competing with each other or there's not a conflict of interest. I don't really know how any of that works, to be honest with you. But you know, you could always look into it, you could always check it out. Again, I feel like that's more for networking and leveraging like your business, your platform, getting your name out there, maybe networking with hospitals or with other, you know, practitioners or whatever. Maybe it would be worth it to look into. But as far as accountability efforts, I don't know if that's really something that would work there. Definitely more for networking. Yeah. I mean, Naija, really, I'm seeing. So, what I'm seeing is like inspiration, and then I'm seeing sacrifice, and I'm seeing rest. And it feels like to me that there's this like juggling act you're playing between trying to maintain and sustain inspiration, but also feeling tired, but also feeling like you're doing a lot and the reward isn't really here for you at this time. Um, so, you know, maybe that's why social media is going to be important for you right now, because that engagement that you're getting through social media can at least be your consistent validation and exposure. That maybe if you're not getting paid just yet and you're not making money just yet, you're at least getting recognized. So maybe social media can be that like bridge between now and when income producing things start happening for you. The social media and exposure part of it might be the key that you need to feel like, okay, people are liking my content, people are engaging with my content. I'm getting exposure, I'm getting myself out there, and that can be like your weekly validation, your weekly encouragement to keep going, and like let that be the bridge until those other things start happening for you. Maybe I'm not sure, um, but essentially, like I feel like consistency is going to be important for you, Naisha. Like, it's tough. It's tough. Like, I can completely understand. I hate starting things if I feel like I'm not getting immediate benefits from it. It's not worth it to me. um, you know, my husband is the same way. He's like, I'm usually good at things immediately, but that's also his downfall, is that if he's not, because he picks up things so easily, if he's not immediately good at something, he gives up immediately instead of trying. So I can't really argue with him. I'm the same way. If I'm not getting results produced, I give up on the idea. I have trouble with consistency personally. So for me to tell you that, that's hard to say, but I do think truly that is what's going to continue to get this off the ground, because nobody's going to put the effort into this business the way that you are. And if you're not consistent with it, it's not going to go anywhere. So you have to like remember that. I mean, unless you could afford to hire someone else to do the work for you, which you're not at that place yet, this idea is just going to fall away from you if you're not putting consistent effort into it. And you don't want to lose the momentum that you're starting. You know, you do still have some inspiration and some belief in this business, and you need to tap into that while you still have access to it. Because if 3 months go by, 6 months go by, and 9 months go by, you know how many more ideas you're going to have. And you're probably just going to let this idea go. And I get it. I'm the same way. So I know what I'm talking about. And you've already put so much effort towards this. I think you really have to just dig your heels in and make something of this. And if you are consistent with it for a year and you're like, nothing's really happening, I want to do something else, I do understand that too. But I don't want you to give up on something that you put so much effort into already. And have such a cool idea, and like you can see the vision, you can see that it would really help, and you can see how far it can go. And it's like, I don't want you to give up on that just because you're not seeing the results immediately. Your partner's similar to my husband. Yeah, we have so much in common. Yeah, it's funny because um my husband's best friend, they've been friends since middle school. He is a drummer, and he picked up drumming at a very young age when my husband and him were like newly friends. And my husband was like, okay, well, I'll play the guitar and like we can just like start our own band and whatever. And my husband says, looking back on it, he's like, I wish I would have tried more. I would have, or if I wasn't good at guitar, could try something else just to see if I was better at like bass or something. And he's like, but I just kind of gave up. But the thing is that he gave up on something that he saw his friend having a lot of success in. And that friend has a family now and everything, and he's married, but he's still doing things with that. Like, you know, I probably told you he went on tour with a band, and they opened for a lot of very well-known artists. They went to the UK, and my husband was supposed to go and do their merch and go on tour with them, but he ended up going to college instead, which was good for him. I'm glad that he did that. But it's like that was a completely different path. But he thinks back on that a lot and is just like, man, like what if I actually put more effort towards it and wasn't just so stubborn and didn't just like give up, like maybe I could have had some different experiences in life. But hey, you live, you learn. Really appreciate your words of wisdom. Definitely need to hear this. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The band that he went on tour with is actually getting back together for like a reunion show in November. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. I hope that I am, but we'll see. We shall see. But you're very welcome, Nasia. All right, next up we have Kaiser for a BOGO. Kaiser, if you want to drop your questions in the chat for me, please. I hope I can make it too, girl. I really do. I told my husband, I was like, even if we're not able to go, like, I still want him to, like, FaceTime us while he's on stage or something, or maybe we can go to one of their practices or something. But it's the week of Thanksgiving, so we'll see. You're very welcome, Naija. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, friend. Sleep tight, girl. We'll see you in probably a week or two. Hang in there. Have fun. Enjoy your new job. All right, so this is for Kaiser. Oh. What is Nightbot saying to you, Naija? Oh, God. Nightbot is a hater tonight. What's going on? I've never seen that before. That's hilarious. Oh my God, Nightbot, you're so rude. I've never seen that before. Oh my God. You know what's so funny about that, Naija, is when you came in, you were like, I talk a lot. I'm an air sign. And Nightbot's like, get the heck out, girl. Get out of here. Oh my God. I've never seen that before. I wonder what I need to disable in order for that to not happen again. Oh my God. That's so freaking funny. All right, girl. Have a good night. Nightbot's on one this evening. Dang. Wow. I don't even know what to do about that. I don't know. Like, I've never seen that before. That's so freaking funny. I'm cracking up. Sleep tight, Naija. Okay, so this is for Kaiser. All right, you said, very sorry to mean to start this reading currently at work. Can I post my BOGO question? I will listen to recorded. Sorry and thank you again. Oh, you're fine, Kaiser. Yes, you can post. All right, Kaiser, I'm working on you now, friend. All right, this is for Kaiser. Nightbot's a troll on the low, man. What was that? So rude. All right, how does your Pisces truly think and feel for Kaiser right now? How does Pisces truly think? People have been asking a lot about Pisces lately. How does Pisces truly feel and think for Kaiser right now? All right, your Pisces is very guarded, Kaiser. I'm kind of getting like she's been through a lot, or maybe your connection has been through a lot. There's history here. So if you're like, yeah, like there's, a lot of history with us, etc., I want you to take that message that way, because I feel like she's extremely guarded. Now, if you're like, no, this is a newer connection, doesn't really apply to me, the message is still the same. It would indicate that she's been through a lot in her past, and it indicates that it is making her very guarded in this connection. So whether it's the history that you guys have shared that's making her guarded, or her own personal history, for whatever reason, she's saying, I've been through a lot, or we've been through a lot, and I just feel like I don't have a lot in me to contribute to this connection. She feels like her energy is low. She feels like she isn't really able to offer maybe as much as you're looking for from her. I think that sometimes she feels excited about the connection, inspired about the connection. I think other times she's feeling more like a hermit. And I think that causes mixed signals for you and confusion. I definitely could see her as the type of person that goes into isolation very often. And maybe it's hard to reach her, literally reach her, like contact her, reach her, or just like you feel like she's just very far away and she's not really present in your connection. How does she feel? How does she feel? We have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune. So Three of Swords indicates that what she has been through, whether that was the history you guys shared together, that you guys have been through a lot, or her own personal history, she is trying to release this pain and overcome this. She is thinking more negatively, but she's trying to become more optimistic. She's hoping that the hardest part is over and she can move forward into something more peaceful and more happy. Six of Swords talks about, the hard part being over and moving forward into easier times or simpler times ahead. But I feel with the King of Swords, she's like extremely cautious right now. She could also be just in like self-preservation, self-protection mode. Let's see specifically how she's viewing you. All right, how is she viewing Kaiser? Definitely feel like I'm getting mixed information here. I feel like at times she's inspired by the connection. She feels emotionally connected to you. She feels attracted to you. She feels like things are going well and maybe heading in a good direction. And then there are other times where she feels hesitant. She feels like this has run its course, or that you guys have hit a wall and you can't really get past a block. And she considers like moving on or moving forward with or without you. Regardless, the bottom line is that she feels like something, what am I trying to say? Whether it's with you or whether it's without you, she just wants an easier time. She wants to be at peace. She wants to be happy. I feel like she's in this place of like protecting her own peace right now. So that is truly what she wants out of the connection, is she just wants things to be easy. She doesn't want to feel like things are complicated, even if she's contributing to the complication. I think you're dealing with a very fickle person, Kaiser. I think your Pisces is very fickle. I think your Pisces doesn't really know what she even wants. She doesn't know what she wants even out of life. Like, I feel like she's very directionless. Chariot in reverse. I don't know how developed this connection is with her. If you guys are established and officially in a relationship and there are a lot of feelings here, it might be worth giving it one last shot. 9 of Wands. Maybe like just to say you gave it your all or you gave it your best. But what I will say is, if you have not gotten to the point where you're even official, like you're not even in a relationship, you're just trying to get this connection off the ground and it feels like it's really going out of nowhere, you might be running out of steam. I think it's something that you would be wise to pull your energy back from, because I feel like this person's extremely fickle. I feel like she's hot and she's cold. And that's, to be honest, kind of the nature of a Pisces. Now, being a sun sign doesn't necessarily mean you're just the antithesis, or not antithesis, you're like the epitome of that specific thing. But the more activity she has in that house, the more, if she's like a Pisces stellium or something like that, I think that I think that that's going to even further my case to say that she's a little bit in and out of this realm. Pisces are really hard to lock down. They're really hard to understand. I think that you're just going to be dealing with someone who doesn't really know what they want for a long time. Pisces generally are half in this world, half out of this world. They're very much in their head a lot of the time. Like I said, it depends on how heavy that Pisces house is with placements. But if she's got more than one placement in Pisces, you're dealing with someone who's likely going to be more in their head than anywhere else. And you're going to have a hard time reading them. They don't want you to be able to read them. They don't want you to be able to read their mind. So, like I said, depending on how locked in you are with this person, you should just gauge the connection at face value and decide if this is worth continuing your efforts or if it's something you need to pull back from. But if this is a crush, I think you could give it some time. If this is someone that you've been talking to for a while and feel like it's really not going anywhere, that is going to be a difficult place to be because I don't think it's going to go anywhere, at least not right away. And then if it's a official relationship where there's feelings developed, or it's a marriage, or you guys are living together or something like that, it might be worth sticking it out a little while longer. Like I said, there are feelings here where she feels attracted to you, or she feels emotionally connected to you. I just feel like you're dealing with an energy that's very hard to read. And I think that's just going to give you like a huge headache, unfortunately. So Kaiser, that is what I have for you, friends. And I think that's the end of my list for the night. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Adios, muchachos.